I'm Thom, and I've been drinking whiskey for a long time. I know what I like, and I know what I don't. I know what I'm willing to spend my money on, and what I think is a waste. My sister Patsy has never agreed with any of that. This is Whiskey Face, where I pick the whiskey,
Oh, my head. The whole top of my head is tingling now.
and Patsy tells me exactly what she thinks of it. Welcome back to Whiskey Face. In this episode, the bottle looks like the problem. Patsy is going to try Willett Pot Still Reserve, which, as you can see, comes in a lovely glass bottle, which is an exact replica of the copper pot still Willett uses to distill this whiskey.
And if I shared with you my opinion on pretty bottles?
Go ahead.
Pretty bottles are made so that they can suck you into really strong tasting alcohol.
In this case, it's a pretty bottle because it highlights the craft. Pot still, unlike a column still, requires batch-made whiskey. A column still can operate constantly making whiskey, and it's used by most distilleries. But a pot still is batch-made whiskey. So there's more effort going into this. It's more craft-oriented.
Do the different batches taste different? Do you need to know what batch you bought?
Well, it's the same mash bill every time. So we've talked about this idea before. It's the same mash bill and then it's aged. And so if it were a single barrel, the different aging of the different barrels might cause it to have a different flavor. But as long as it's distilled the same way with the same mash bill, it should go into the barrels pretty consistently. Part of a distiller's job is to taste it as it's being made and see, am I getting the consistent flavor that I want?
Once it comes out of the barrels and is bottled, does the taste stay the same for forever then?
So that's fair. So a whiskey stops aging once it's put into a glass bottle.
Okay.
As long as it's stored properly, it can last a long time without changing. But a whiskey can oxidize if it's stored in sunlight, if it gets too hot. But essentially, you could open a very old bottle of whiskey and it would still taste good.
Okay.
For those of us that like it, at least.
Okay.
So, the Willett, in this case, is a wheated bourbon, like Maker's Mark was from our first episode.
Okay.
So again, I told her in episode 1, wheated bourbons are a gateway. They should be an easy way to get people into whiskey because...
Didn't you say that about the one last week too, though? And it wasn't.
For Scotch, yes. But in this case, our mash bill is 65% corn, 20% wheat, and 15% barley. So like Maker's, there's no rye. It is corn, wheat, and barley. A little less corn, a little more wheat than you'd find in Maker's. So it should still be a sweeter bourbon, a smoother, easier to drink bourbon than one that has rye in it instead of wheat. We'll see if you agree.
Okay.
Another cool thing about the Willett distillery is it is still owned and operated by descendants of the Willett family who founded it. So the Willets have been involved in bourbon making either at their own distillery or at other distilleries since the 1800s.
Is that unusual?
It's not unusual for the founding family to still be involved in the distillery, but a lot of the big name distilleries that you'd know today, like Beam or Maker's Mark that we tried, are actually owned by larger alcohol liquor conglomerates now. But the families typically often have remained involved in those. So the Beams are still involved, the Samuels are still involved.
Okay. Okay.
So, one of the cool things about a copper pot still is it causes the beer, the mash turns into a beer and then gets distilled. It causes that beer to come into contact with more of the copper, which acts as a cleaning agent of sorts to take out things like sulfur as it reacts with the liquid. And it also causes more of what they call congeners to remain in the whiskey, and that can give it a thicker, creamier mouthfeel if they're not taken out. So Maker's Mark, you may remember, is chill filtered.
Yes,
Chill
I remember that.
filtering causes...
I remember the word.
that causes or takes out a lot of the congeners.
Right.
And makes it a thinner mouthfeel. This, I think, and we'll see what you think, has a bigger, creamier mouthfeel to it because the congeners are still there.
Okay.
Okay. So we've poured a little for each of us.
Yes, you gave me less today than you have been.
We've realized whiskey is getting harmed in this podcast because you don't drink it. And so I'm giving you less.
Okay, no whiskeys are harmed. They do not go to waste. They just don't go in me.
So as I smell the whiskey, I think it has sort of buttered biscuit, honey, which is hopefully going to go really well with the Gold Rush for you, and a little bit of spice to it.
So this one is like the one last week. It's not as gasoline fumey smelling.
So you thought last week tricked you.
Yes, I'm feeling like this one is a double
Why?
trick because it's a pretty bottle, which I think is always a risk. It's not like wine bottles, which I would choose when I used to drink by what the pretty bottle looked like. So that's that makes me nervous. And now I'm beginning to think that good smells maybe not good.
Well,
But it doesn't make my eyes water on the smell.
remember most of
And
what...
it doesn't smell like a brownie.
No, definitely not. Most of what
No.
you smell influences what you taste, right? So good smells should mean good taste.
Yeah, one would think that. That's the suck it in part.
So when I taste it, I get a little more cinnamon. Not the red hot cinnamons I've mentioned before, but definitely a little more cinnamon in there. There's still that sort of honey butter sweetness to it. And it definitely has a bigger mouthfeel. You can tell it's there. It's not as thin as some of the other whiskeys we've tried in mouthfeel. So let's go ahead and see what you taste. That is the most mild initial reaction so far. I'm not sure she's swallowing that.
I think it's because I'm holding my breath. Oh my. Oh, it's sour, bitter.
I doubt any whiskey aficionado would agree with that.
So for whoever thought I need to let it go back down my tongue, I actually succeeded at that, and that's why I'm holding my breath.
Okay, but that's progress.
That was not progress. Oh, my head, the whole top of my head is tingling now.
Okay.
Oh my, no, that's not positive.
Let's do a second taste and then we'll get your thoughts.
It's like all stuck on my tongue.
I know this is not a great reaction to whiskey, but this is much better so far. Okay.
Trying to breathe. Oh my, okay.
Wow. What did you taste? And then we'll rate it.
Maybe it's like a burnt caramel aftertaste. Like if you screwed up your dessert, and you burned it, not good. Or like vanilla, if you weren't really If you got curious and tasted the vanilla on its own, that doesn't taste so hot. But I will say this is the first one I feel like I can even distinguish a taste that's not just burning.
I'm so happy.
I would not. I think this is the best. It's the least eye-watering so far. Still some. Still head tingling. I don't. The best so far.
So I think we're still going to stay at a 3 and put you at regret. I don't think we're at questionable quite at a number 2, which would be huge. But I think a regret at number 3 on our scale.
Do I have to want to drink it again to be at questionable, or at least question that I might drink it again?
I think question you might drink it again at least.
We're not there. So far, of the ones you have, if you had a gun to my head, this would be the one I would choose.
Not quite questionable. But I think regret. I mean, this is a much more mild reaction. I know if
it does not burn as much going down.
I
don't feel all my organs.
I would say if the Willett folks are watching, they're probably not seeing this as a compliment, but I do, because so much better than what we've seen so far. We're going to use this for the cocktail. That's why there's ice in it already. Okay.
Oh, I have goosebumps though. Okay. All my hair is tingling.
So for our redemption round, we're going to do Gold Rush, which was developed at the Milk and Honey Bar in New York City. It's a fairly simple cocktail conceptually. It's honey syrup, which is similar to simple syrup, 2 parts honey to 1 part water, the bourbon, and lemon juice. And we're going to shake it instead of stirring. Some people would argue you never shake a bourbon drink, that it would bruise the bourbon, but we're going to do that today. So I already have ice in here. We're going to add our ingredients. So this is our honey syrup, very sticky. Our whiskey. We're doing 2 ounces of the bourbon to 3/4 ounce honey syrup and 3/4 ounce lemon juice. And this is fresh squeezed. You could use pre-done lemon juice if that's what you have. And then we're going to shake. I did a bartending class once where the bartender who taught us said you shake until you feel the chill change. I'm not necessarily that skilled, but I'm going to say we're about there.
But that was good because you didn't shake it all over the room.
Thank you. And we're just going to use the Hawthorne strainer again to strain it in here.
Wow. That really changed the color.
The honey really does affect the color. And we're going to add a little pre-cut lemon wedge. And there you go.
I like the smell. It does not smell.
Okay, well, we've started at a positive.
That's not bad. Doesn't smell really like anything.
Okay. Nothing is a progress, I guess.
Okay, so that's...
Wait, so let's pause for a second. No eyes closed, no...
There's no gagging.
No, this is amazing. Try again.
I'll try.
Always 2 tries at least. I think she let it roughly, get the essence on her lips.
So, I still don't think you're going to like my description of it.
But you're not gagging.
No, but it's like a watered down cough syrup.
Your eyes are open.
It's not it's not as hideous as anything else we've had. So it's by far the best of what we have had.
Okay. So she doesn't care for it.
I don't care for it. Right, it tastes watered down cough syrup.
But
Like, I think when I used to drink, I maybe drank something like this when I had a cold.
this may actually be, like, she's not going to go search for this drink, but she didn't react negatively at all.
No, it doesn't have the burn feel.
This may be a 1. Like, this is manageable. If she had to, she could drink this.
If I had to, I could tolerate this.
This is pretty cool. I'm going to give you...
Still don't expect me to order this when we're
I'm going
out.
to give you... This
One,
is
'cause
manageable.
I don't remember what it's called.
And we're gonna mark this on our calendars as the first time Patsy has had a whiskey drink that she could actually drink. Doesn't want to yet, but she could do it. So this is a 1 on our whiskey
If I
face
had
scale.
to, I could. So does it not have as much whiskey in it?
It has 2 ounces of whiskey. That's more than several of the cocktails we've made so far.
I don't know what made it.
So
It does taste more watery.
the honey syrup pulls some of the honey-related flavors out of the grains of the bourbon. In this case, corn and wheat are both going to have more of that sweet, natural flavor to them, and the honey is going to pull that flavor forward.
Okay, so this doesn't taste. It's gonna make me sneeze. Sweet like fake cough syrup. Excuse me. You see, it's does kind of hit you still though. Still cleans the sinuses some. But it's more like an old-timey cough
Okay.
syrup.
I'm going to give it a try. See, I tend to throw my garnish in. I know I have a good friend who hates it when you do that because he doesn't know where the lemon peel has been. I think that's nice. I get what you're saying, and it is actually an intent, I believe, of a Gold Rush is you don't really taste the whiskey so much, the alcohol so much. You get the honey flavor, you get the bitter of the lemon, they balance each other, and the whiskey sort of sits beneath, adding some heft to it, if you will, with the flavors it's bringing. But you're not like a Manhattan that we've done the past few weeks, or a riff on a Manhattan that is very alcohol forward. This is
Yes,
not.
those I feel all of my organs as it goes down. That's sorry for all of you who hoped I'd have a really bad reaction, but this is, maybe make this one for your wives.
And that's assuming your wife doesn't like whiskey, because there are many women who do, including, of course, the female distillers we've already talked about.
Yes, many of my friends don't.
So,
And I've had a lot of men go, "Oh, I'll watch that because my wife makes those faces."
I've mentioned a friend of mine didn't initially like whiskey, and we've gotten him into it. His wife liked whiskey, and that was part of the way that we helped get him into it. So don't discount it just because you're a woman.
Still, don't hold your breath.
For you. And with that, we will move on. So we're looking forward to next week. But in the meantime, as always, merchandise is available on whiskeyface.live. Website will be on the screen for you. And Patsy's gratitude show is actually this past week. You will have missed this month if you're just watching this now. But remember for next month, so that you can watch it in June on
The fourth Wednesday of the month.
on Syndicate Empire, Michele in the middle.
Yep. It's called Shift Happens
There you
with the Queen of Gratitude.
Who I think might be grateful she got something she could at least drink.
Yes. Milk and honey. I'm grateful for the milk and honey bar. That was the name you said.
That is. So we'll see you next week. Until then, enjoy.